human species has lived on the earth for thousands and thousands of years. And thanks to adaptation, we have thrived these lands for many, many years. One of the biggest aspects of adaptation is exploration. And through exploration, we have overcome many, many issues that have plagued our civilization. But after so many years of exploring these lands, we've run out of places to explore. So, logically, the next step is to start exploring the vastness of outer space. The concept of space has existed since the 2nd century, and mechanical travel has been in circulation in society since the 1880s. And I personally have searched many certified sources for all this information that I will provide to you today about how the current, like, how aerospace travel and the history of it has defined our civilization. Like how the biggest current effects to push space civilization forward throughout the history of space travel was the rush of the space race, the spectacle of the moon landing, and the introduction of the first reusable rocket. Starting off, the first man-made object to be sent into orbit, into space, was the Soviet Union's Sputnik 1, which started heavy competition between the US and the USSR to start developing better space travel and try to get to the moon first, or otherwise known as the space race. The space race was kind of a friendly competition during a time in which heavy tensions were against the US and the USSR. This was a positive thing because it united America, or engineers and scientists, to effectively combat the USSR in a non-aggressive way. In addition, the Cold War was heavily on the people's minds during this entire era. So tensions were high against the United States of America and Russia and its allies. But throughout all this, a strong passion of unity against the ongoing threat gave the space movement the push it needed to reach for the stars, and at the very end, the goal was achieved. After the space race was said and done, one emerged victorious. On July 20th, 1969, the US got to the moon, and humanity has achieved one giant step for all. This was a big spectacle for all Americans, as the moon landing had a very heavy wave to it. It gathered families, it made people focus on their screens, and it gave a certain sense of unity to all of America. Not only that, ex-President Kennedy made a promise to Americans a few years before that in less than 10 years the moon would be achieved, and he was right. The moon landing was also an inspiration to the youths, as while many older folk were watching their screens and giving their reactions to this odd event of landing on the moon, many young, impressionable people were imagining, were seeing this grand spectacle happen on their screens. A person, a regular old everyday Joe, was actually on a moon, on a different planet. Well, a different, was not on this planet, was on a different celestial body, thousands and millions of thousands of miles away from Earth, just walking, just planting a flag. And that was truly an inspiration for several young viewers and pushed many people towards many young people towards a career in aerospace, whether it be engineer, scientists, or maybe just a regular activist. Overall, the moon landing was a demonstration of proof for the world that such dreams and speculations can become a reality if enough effort was put in. And the show indoctrinated many. The show of the moon landing indoctrinated many young future activists to the call of aerospace development. Decades after all the excitement of the moon landing and the space race had died down, a company that specializes in aerospace engineering that goes by the name of SpaceX developed the Falcon 9, the first reusable two-stage rocket, in 2010. Before this rocket was invented, rockets used to cost a lot of money and a lot of time. The time, it was just a very costly process to develop a rocket to go into outer space, as it would be. And many people just doubted space travel because of this heavy limited factor. But thanks to this rocket, the efficiency and recyclability of a rocket ship has become a much more economical process, a much more profitable process for people, as you don't have to completely crash an entire $500 million rocket ship just for every single try you go. So now, when there's an issue with a ship, you could just simply retweak it or modify it to make it work even better without completely starting over. The introduction of the reusable rocket has made aerospace industry a much more lucrative business, since the time and money it takes to make an expedition was greatly rationalized. In conclusion, to finalize it all, we have, to circle back, really, we have seen how over the years, the aerospace industry has been a market that has not stopped improving in the last 70 years. Thanks to the introduction of the relaunching rocket, the heavy rivalry of the space race, and the worldwide impact of that one simple moon landing. Space travel is only one step in human history and human adaptation. As humans do and have always done to survive and conquer all the lands of the earth, the atmosphere, and the moon, we will keep exploring. That's it.